Hello. So today I want to talk to you about this new game that I've made and how the character creation system works. So this character creation system is a typical of any kind of like fantasy RPG. Anyway, the game at the moment is called the Icepeak Mountains, and I've defined it as kind of like roguelike game. So here you have the cover of the game. And then you have obviously, well, the starting part of the game is you can just click on here and you'll be given some options. One is the difficulty settings. There is also a place here where I've placed, for example, if you want to use some of the cheat codes. And one cheat code that I've inserted in the game, for example, is the Blessing of Kathos. So if you insert that, then the game will give you a bonus to 5 in attack. However, it's also going to then restrict the difficulty settings to easy, very easy, or ridiculously easy. So the second thing to do is, if I don't want to have normal setting, then I choose my difficulty setting, and I'm going to choose, for example, to play on easy. This will give me 15 character points and 50 starting gold. So I click on this. Now I've created two different type of game modes. One is the storytelling mode. In this storytelling mode, you will never be killed during combat, so i.e. you will be able to make it to the end of the game. The reason to insert this is that although this game is supposed to be similar to one of the game books that existed during the 80s, 90s, well even nowadays, the Lone Wolf or Fighting Fantasy, these games had a lot of instances where the reader would be killed. Now, however, of course, because it was a book, then you could always have your finger, in the previous section, or if you were killed in combat, you could just say, oh, well, actually, I didn't get killed. So because of that, then I've created this storytelling mode where actually you can make it to the end, even if you get killed halfway through the game. However, you might also want to actually really play in Iron Man mode and have it that you actually get killed and then you have to restart the game from the beginning. So anyway, let's play in storytelling mode. Here the next thing that you will do is actually choose there's a bit of lore about the game which you can read. You can choose your character class, and I've created 4 of them: fighter, cleric, and the cleric will have to choose different type of gods that he is under which he will serve, rogues or wizards. Since in the Choice of Games forums most people seem to be playing as a wizard, then I will choose wizard and I'll create my wizard. Now this is the game world which I am creating. So this is typical for you would expect from a high fantasy setting. You have an elvish empire over here, some dwarves, strongholds in this kind of area, and you have human kingdom in the middle. The action in this game takes place in this area, the south of the Icepeak Mountains, and in between this city of Blackport, which is this kind of highly corrupt port which is used by pirates and thieves, and these Icepeak Mountains where many orc tribes live. Again, it's a bit more about description about the world, which I'll let you read. And the next thing that you get to is actually being able to use your points. So because of the difficulty settings, we have 15 points to choose, and this allows you to upgrade the general abilities and hit points, obtain class related abilities and skills, wizard spells in this case. You have also some notes on game mechanics, and when you're finally finished, you can click on this. Let's choose spells. At the moment, I have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 spells you can choose from. I'm hoping to add a few more, so maybe by the end, the game will have something like 15 or 20 different spells. There are 4 first level spells or first order spells and second order spells. So let's choose, for example, Ray of Water as the spells. Maybe you want to have swimming spell, for example, or climbing spell, let's say. Let's go for a climbing spell. And let's say that for level 2 you want to have Fireball and Invisibility. So you have chosen 4 spells. Then notice that you don't have any mana. So to actually be able to cast your spells, you need to have some mana. So I'm going to increase my mana by 1. So this means I can only cast a first level spell. I'll increase by another point. Let's give myself maybe 6 mana points. And let's change, for example, hit points. Let's give ourselves at least a couple more hit points. And let's play one extra on. I mean, notice that I have an attack of 11 because I used the cheat code before. Otherwise, I would have an attack value of 6 to start with. But anyway, let's put 1 in defense. Given that I'm a wizard, I don't want to be hit very often. The rest of the abilities are pretty low. Climbing, swimming, perception, deactivate traps, open locks, and stealth. Because I'm a wizard, so I didn't really put any points on that. So then we can go to the main menu, and then finally we're done creating our character. Oh, sorry, no, we're not yet. Sorry, we still have to choose a character class. So there are different character classes that you can choose from. I'm going to say that let's say I'm a half-orc. And this gives me a bonus of 1 attack, 1 defense, and climbing. And then I have to choose my Patron God. So there are 8 different Patron Gods. Each of them have attributes associated with them. So like Lithan is the god of justice, protection, and nature, Major god of elves, and he sits at the intersection between earth and water. So each of the 8 gods have an associated realm, i.e. between fire, water, earth, and air, and all the four sections that in between them. Let's say, for example, I will be Mithras, for example, the major god of dwarves, and construction, wealth, and metalworking. And sorry, this is just the description of the gods, so you can read that. Finally, maybe I'll choose, I'll choose Mithras. And this just allows me to said I've chosen my god. This gives me a standing with the god. So as you can see now, Mithras is more favorable to me, and Shathala, the Mithras antagonist god, is opposed to me, and I have a low relationship. And this relationship with the gods plays a part in the story. So often certain things will happen or not happen depending on what's your relationship with a certain god or goddess. So if I go back to my story, then I have to choose my name, etc., and then the game will start. But I think this is enough for one video. So anyway, if you would like to try it, please go to the Choice of Game forum, and you can actually test the demo of the game, which is actually quite advanced, all but the final chapter of the game.